Well, tariffs were one of the biggest economic stories of 2025, and towards the end of the year, things aren't getting any easier. As of this week, China has levied tariffs on European Union dairy products. Lars Holte is with Deutsche Welle and joins me from Berlin. Good afternoon, Lars. What is the latest on that?
Thanks for having me. Indeed, China has put tariffs of between 21.9% and as high as 42.7% on EU dairy products. That is quite a range, and it's at least partially tied to whether or not certain EU member countries and even the dairy farmers there have been cooperating in an investigation that China has conducted over the course of the last year. An investigation that for Beijing led to the conclusion that Brussels is unfairly supporting its dairy farmers, putting Chinese farmers at a disadvantage. So to rectify this, Beijing has levied now the lowest tariffs of just under 22% on Italian exporters. About a dozen French dairies pay around 30%. Some German companies just a tad less at 28.6%. And then the highest tariffs have been put on Belgian and Dutch exporters, over 42%, as I said.
Also, what is behind the tariffs, though? Is it really just over subsidies?
No, it is most certainly not. In fact, trade relations between the EU and China have worsened, as have trade relations around the world. And much of that, of course, has to do with the erratic trade policy we've seen coming out of the White House, where US President Trump has basically uprooted decades worth of trade deals and agreements, levied rather random tariffs on other countries, and played competing nations against each other in a way that has led to a trade escalation worldwide. So now looking at China and the EU, Brussels has started an investigation into Chinese subsidies for electric cars back in 2023 already, actually. Later put tariffs on those electric cars after they found that, yes, Beijing is subsidizing its automakers in an unfair way. While automakers reacted and started sending lower tariffed hybrids to Europe, Beijing also reacted with counter tariffs on brandy and pork. And now, as a last step, dairy. This latest escalation will have a huge impact, as the EU is China's second largest dairy supplier after New Zealand.
Also, thank you so much, Lars, for joining us and getting us the latest on this developing situation.